Hey everybody, I'm back with another update on my Encyclopedia autograph collection. Today is Friday, March 27th, 2026. I just did an update back in November, right after I went to the gathering in Charlotte. And since then I've been to 3 more conventions. I've been to WrestleCade, I went to a show in Chillicothe, Ohio, and I just got back last weekend from the big event in New York. So I'm going to quickly go through the updates of what I've added since then. And the first new one is Alex Riley. I got him in Chillicothe. It was, just a couple weeks ago, here in March. Chillicothe, Ohio. That is the World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling that Bobby Fulton runs. And also in Chillicothe were the Beverly Brothers. A good rare addition. Those guys don't seem to do a lot of conventions, so I was glad to get them. I watched them when I was younger on TV. Okay, and one of the big ones I just came home with from the big event. One of the main reasons I went. Rick Martel, very rare autograph. Got him to sign 3 spots, so here's the first one. That was just last Saturday at Brentwood, New York. Another new one from the big event, Christy Hemme. And another new one from the big event, David Otunga. I got him to sign here and the Nexus page that you'll see in a moment. He was there with Michael Tarver, who I also met. And another big one. This was big event. Their very first guest that they announced was Don Muraco, and for me, New York is pretty far away, so I don't really go to big event very often. This is only the second time I've been to it. But just as soon as they announced him as one of the headline guests, I knew right away I couldn't pass that up. I had pretty much given up on the hope that I would ever get to meet him and add this signature. I just thought this would stay blank forever, and as soon as they said he's going to make one more trip from Hawaii. I knew I couldn't pass that up, and I'm so glad I went and got to meet him and Rick Martel. He was always one of my favorites growing up in the 80s. I just got Eva Marie at the big event. She was very nice. Goldberg was at the big event this past weekend, but I'd already met him several years ago at WrestleMania Access in New Orleans in 2018. In fact, he was one of the very first people to ever sign this book. Would love to meet Jim Powers one day. I know he doesn't make a lot of appearances. Okay, so I added John Laurinaitis at Chillicothe a couple of weeks ago, and I realized that for many that's probably a controversial and unpopular choice, but I just decided, no, I'm a collector and I'm trying to collect as many of these signatures as I can, so I added that one. And Joy Giovanni was at the big event last weekend. Another rare name. They get a lot of good rare names at big event. I wish I did live closer because I probably would go to all of them. I've missed out on a lot of rare names not being close to New York. Paul Heyman being one of them, and Taz, and Stacy Keibler. They've had a lot of great guests that I've missed out on. See, Sean Stasiak was there, but I'd already met him. Also, he was at the big event last weekend. I got to meet him in Dallas. Here's another new one from big event, Michael Tarver. I mentioned earlier he was with David Otunga. I know he's going to be at the 80s Wrestling Con in a couple of months, and again, that's pretty far away from me, but I don't know. I might make the journey. We'll see. And I know Mr. T was just at the MegaCon in Orlando. Would love to get him. Okay, so for the Nation of Domination, at Chillicothe a couple weeks ago, I just added PG-13, Wolfie D, and JC Ice right there. So for the Nation, I have Farouk, I have D'Lo, I have Kama, Savio Vega, Mark Henry, Ahmed Johnson, and now Wolfie D and JC Ice, which I believe just leaves Clarence Mason and, of course, The Rock. There's my spot for The Rock. Sure. Okay, and Nexus. So I just added David Otunga and Michael Tarver to them. Here's Otunga. There's Michael Tarver. I'm leaving that spot for Wade Barrett if I ever get to meet him. So I now have Justin Gabriel, Skip Sheffield or Ryback, Heath Slater, here's Darren Young, and here's Curtis Axel, who was Michael McGillicuddy. One Man Gang was at big event. I got to meet him back in 2018. Rest in peace, Dennis Condrey, who just passed away a few days ago. I got to meet him in 2019, along with a lot of the Midnight Express at the same event in Madison, West Virginia. All-Star Wrestling, Gary Dameron. Paige, I just got her at WrestleCade back in November. Been waiting a long time to get to meet her. You know what, now that I think about it, I think I've skipped a few from WrestleCade. Yeah, because I just met Carmella, and I passed on her signature. Let me flip back there. Skipped right over that one that passed through. There you go. Yeah. Bad light. There we go. Carmella. Forgot all about that. Just got her at WrestleCade back in November. Really happy to meet her. Yeah, as a matter of fact, MVP. I passed that one. Alright, time out, guys. Sorry. It's coming back to me now. Yep. MVP, that's new. That wasn't on my last video. So he was at WrestleCade. Not doing a good job this time. Okay, Paige, Carmella, MVP. I actually didn't get a lot of signatures at WrestleCade because the lines were so incredibly long, like Paige. And I met Sting one last time in face paint. Didn't get a signature from Sting. I already have his signatures. Trying to think if I missed any other WrestleCade signatures, if I've passed them by. I only got about 4 or 5 that day. Here's PG-13 again, when they were in Chillicothe a couple weeks ago. Wolfie D and JC Ice. Ricardo Rodriguez, just got him at the big event last weekend. Another good rare guest. I remember he was originally scheduled for the Dallas WrestleCon and then canceled at the last minute. I had planned to meet him that time. So glad he got back out. And another Rick Martel. So happy to get this. I mean, this, Rick Martel and Don Muraco, those are 2 names I see repeatedly on social media, like, for different conventions. Get Rick Martel, get Don Muraco, and not gonna happen, guys, and it finally happened. Roadkill was also at big event last weekend. That's a new signature. Okay, Spike Dudley, that's new. He was at big event last weekend. And also at WrestleCade was Mikey from the Spirit Squad, Mike Mondo. He was there. So we got Mikey and Nikki. I think that's the last of the WrestleCade autographs. I don't think I missed any others. And here's the third Rick Martel signature for Strike Force. And Terry Taylor was at big event last weekend. It was a great, once I had committed to going for Muraco and Martel, then they later added Terry Taylor. That just made it all more special. Another guy from the 80s that never does conventions, and I try to meet as many as I can from my generation. I asked him if he would do both Red Rooster and Terry Taylor. So that's a pretty cool signature. And I think this might be the last of the new ones. Tony Garea was also at big event last weekend. Really cool, really nice guy. Another rare appearance. Not as rare as Rick Martel. I've seen him make a few appearances here and there, but never anywhere close to where I live. I'll just go ahead through the rest of the book. I don't think there's any more new ones to mention. No, I don't think there's anything new here. Nope, that is it. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'm not sure when I'll make another video or when I'm going to the next convention, but anyway, yeah, just thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully.